What happened to Caesar after the rise of the Planet of the Apes? In 2011, the movie Rise of the Planet of the Apes was released, a movie that started a trilogy explaining how the apes conquered the world and the virus that brought humanity to its knees. However, between the first and the second movie about Caesar, more than 10 years went by, leaving many questions of what happened during the fall of humanity. But what would you think if I told you that there is a comic book that explains what happened between the two movies? In this video, we'll be taking a closer look at what happened after Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And if you want to see more videos from the comic book or theories about upcoming movies, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Welcome to the Oasis Geek. The story begins with Malcolm, a character we saw in the Caesar trilogy, trying to turn on a power generator. He has been struggling for at least 2 years to survive with his wife Rita and son Alexander. Malcolm, after stringing together several wires, attempts to restore power to his city, but his wife Rita shows symptoms of the simian flu. When they're about to press a button to reactivate the power, she starts coughing up blood, something she hides from her husband. When Malcolm arrives, he tells Rita that the power in that place is too unstable. There is nothing they can do anymore. Rita then asks him, "What does that mean?" To which Malcolm tells her that they need to have a serious conversation because they no longer have a source of energy and they need more resources. This part of the story is extremely interesting because it shows us how power plants started to fail in the world. In the meantime, 2 years have passed since Caesar and his tribe have been free. Caesar's story begins with Caesar and Maurice giving Ash a blessing of sorts. Rocket has sent him the baby for Caesar to see. Meanwhile, Caesar questions what the future of the tribe is. For Caesar, it is not enough to have freedom. The apes must also build their future. Maurice tells Caesar that they have only been there for 2 years, that perhaps it is too fast to start thinking about the future. But Caesar warns him that they are very comfortable, and that they are now parents, and their duty is to think about the future. Maurice wonders, how could they then think about the future? What does Caesar mean? To which Caesar replies that for the sake of future generations, they must grow up and fortify their species. As he is speaking, a group of apes jump out of the trees. The ape pope almost hits Caesar as he falls, and Caesar scolds them for behaving recklessly. This part of the comic is quite interesting because it shows us how Caesar was thinking about expanding the tribe and not settling for freedom. Part of this legacy has been inherited by Proximus Caesar, who, like his predecessor, thinks that the ape tribe should think about the future and expand. Meanwhile, Malcolm and Rita discuss their future. Malcolm tells Rita that they should leave because they will no longer have electricity in their home. Rita tries to convince him to stay in their home. It is the place where they have been safe for the past years. But Malcolm tells Rita that without electricity, they will not be able to survive. They need to find new equipment, a new shelter with humans to help them. Arriving at their home, Malcolm sees a person waiting for them wearing an ape mask. As they approach, we see a man with a shotgun pointed at Malcolm, who raises his hands. The men tell Malcolm to cooperate, and nothing will happen to him. But they begin to pressure him, and tell him that they will take away all the resources they have in their home, and that they will take his wife Rita. While the men are arguing with Malcolm, Rita sneezes on one of them, which gives Malcolm the opportunity to attack them. As they are distracted by the sneeze, and Malcolm quickly takes the gun from him and shoots them, wounding them and driving them away from their home. As the men leave Malcolm and Rita's house, Malcolm looks at his wife and notices that she has blood in her mouth. He can see that these are symptoms familiar to him. She is infected. Malcolm complains to Rita why she kept it hidden, but Rita says that nothing can be done. Once you show symptoms, you're doomed. Meanwhile, Koba, along with another ape, talk about how humans are not as powerful anymore, but they still can be very cruel, and that they must do research to help their tribe, to gain that advantage over humans. The other ape tells Koba that they need strong apes who can research beyond their home, to which Koba replies that they need Pope. Although that's something Caesar and another ape in the tribe don't like very much, as Pope is quite a volatile person. Nevertheless, Koba entrusts them with that mission. Meanwhile, Malcolm wakes up and realizes that Rita is no longer in the house. He goes out in his car to look for her and finds her trying to drive away in a crop field. Already the symptoms of the disease are more than evident, and Rita wants to protect her son. But apparently Malcolm and his son are immune to the virus, or at least they have not been contaminated. Malcolm embraces Rita and tells her that he cannot lose her. Meanwhile, Caesar's tribe agrees with Koba and Maurice to send scouts to the city to create a better future for the apes. Meanwhile, Malcolm, along with his wife and son, also leave home to find a new place for his family. The comic ends by saying that there is a risk in seeking the world you want, because you could lose the one you have. And then the apes are shown arriving in the city. This is where the first comic ends, with a parallelism between Malcolm's crisis and his need to find a new future, and the apes trying to expand their own legacy. Although this comic seeks to fill in the gaps of what happened between the first two films, it is possible that the story we see here is similar to the one we will see in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. As Proximus Caesar wishes to expand his legacy so that the apes conquer the planet. Just as Caesar sent some apes to explore, Noah and Proximus could be exploring the Forbidden Zone to improve their own tribe. In our next video, we will be looking at the second comic of this series and learn what happens when the apes invade the cities. Something that could influence the next movie. In the meantime, tell me, what do you think about all this? Did you like the beginning of this story? And for more videos from the Planet of the Apes universe, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You are on The Oasis Geek.